the denial of the players and the fans to acknowledge like they're not as good. Finally, Kyle said that. Like, that's been one of the things I've been most frustrated with this year. Excuse making.
I don't know how many excuses I've heard, but the most disappointing aspect of this season to me is just
injuries from the game. Kevin Givens did have a torn pec. He'll end up going to IR. Christian McCaffrey was a PCL. Shouldn't need surgery, but still about a 6-week recovery, so he'll be going to IR also. And the surprise one from the game was JP Mason. Ended up having a high ankle sprain, so he's going to have to go to IR most likely also.
You heard from Kyle Shanahan yesterday. You know, he started talking about Trent Williams, and he was very choked up about that. You saw a statement about Trent Williams, and this team's been through a lot, man. What a tough season for the 49ers. On the field, off the field. It's been a disaster, to say the least. It has been. Now, Christian McCaffrey, Shanahan mentioned he may not need surgery. He's not going to need surgery, but he's done for the season. PCL injury, he's done. I'm going to talk to Dr. Brian Feely about what this means for Christian McCaffrey, if it's connected to the Achilles. Then Jordan Mason out of nowhere. He's on IR. So now we're going to see a lot of Isaac Guerendo, Patrick Taylor Jr., and somebody the Niners will call in. Maybe it's Keyshawn Vaughn. I'm not even sure if he's still on the practice squad or not. I got to check out the practice squad. But the Niners are just dropping like flies. I'm having my doubts that we're going to see Drake Greenlaw. I'm having my doubts that we see Nick Bosa again. I'm having my doubts that we'll see Trent Williams again this season. So as you get ready for the Chicago Bears and that good defense over there, they're going to come in here with Caleb Williams and try to prove something. Top 2 running backs, gone, just like that. Top right receiver, gone, just like that. Who's next?
Here's what I don't want to hear today. Well, you're only 2 games out of first place.
Yeah.
Because you know what you are? You're 1 game out of a top 10 pick, and you're 2 games out of a top 5 pick. So if you want to play that game, we can play that game in the complete opposite direction.
Well, no, I think that game is done now.
You think it is?
Well, I know it is because I didn't mention it once yesterday, and I usually play that game. It's a game I like to play. But
I'm familiar with your game.
Honestly, once they lost to Seattle, you can kind of see the running. Yeah, it was a wrap. When Geno Smith went night-night on you. Oh, who was I talking to yesterday? Oh, Carter. Carter, he was in for London yesterday doing a great job.
Great job.
Great job.
I mean, tremendous job.
I was like, wow.
A lot of great work being done.
Wow, great job. Wonder why. Miami lost to Syracuse. That's why. I don't even know if that made sense, but they blew a 21-0 lead on Saturday in the Carrier Dome. Anyway.
So you were talking to Carter.
I was talking
Geno
to Carter.
Smith.
Oh, yeah. Walked off the field at Levi Stadium like he was Joe Namath.
Yeah.
And that's the moment where I said, yeah, it may not work out for the 49ers this year. Now, you got to play it up a little bit.
Well, yeah, TV Bonta made an appearance.
Yeah, made an appearance and say, hey, you're 1 game out. And look, they lost to Green Bay. Everybody in the division lost, so you still had hope. But you knew going to Buffalo was going to be tough sledding. No pun intended. And they got beat up in the snow. So you look at the depth chart in the running back room, I'm looking at our edge right now. It's Isaac Guerendo and nobody else. Now, you look at the practice squad, there's Patrick Taylor Jr. Is there another running back here? Nope, there's no other running backs on the practice squad. No other running backs. So they'll probably sign one off the street today. They'll bring somebody in on a Tuesday, work them out, have him as an emergency running back.
Bring Frank Gore Jr. in.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, seriously, I'm dead serious.
He's on the Buffalo Bills practice squad, right?
Yeah, just bring him in. Why not? Bring him in.
You know what? That's actually not a bad idea.
I'm dead serious on that.
You get some fans to go to the game.
I mean, just like, what do we got to lose?
Because aren't you thinking now about like
Patrick Taylor Jr.? Well, he knows the scheme. Dog, what's the scheme? Like this thing about the scheme. I'm just so sick. Like he knows. Brandon Allen knows the scheme. That's what he's got an advantage. He's been in the system. He knows the scheme.
He's got such an advantage.
Shut up with the scheme.
He's got such an advantage
that
he was inactive on Sunday, and Josh Allen was already elevated to the number 2 spot in the quarterback pecking order.
Bonta, you know who else is available right now as a free agent?
On 2nd and 5, this is Eno Benjamin. A little hop step, and he trucked Drake Kirkpatrick and takes it in for the touchdown. Oh, my goodness.
Now, didn't Eno Benjamin retire?
No, he's out there. He's listed as a free agent.
He's short, man. He can't stay away.
Let me see. He was with the Saints. Oh, wow. August 5th, 2023, it was announced that Benjamin has suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon in practice will miss the entirety of 2023.
Ouch.
So he may be ready to go now.
Yeah, now he might be good.
He might be ready to go.
He might be ready to
Can he
go.
run his own scheme?
Hey, Bonta.
Scheme? Can he run his own scheme?
Speaking of scheme, there's some people in Philadelphia that love to scheme on us.
Oh, the Crossing Broad. Yeah, I read across to somebody was like, hey, you guys got mentioned in the article.
What is Crossing Broad for those that are listening
It's
right
a
now?
Philadelphia Eagles blogger site.
Okay.
It's a blog site for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And I'm
pull it
reading
up?
the
Are you
headline
reading it
right
right
now
now? All right.
from your boy, Kevin Kincaid. I don't know who that is. But basically it says, you've got to be a sick individual if you're enjoying the 49ers' downfall. And then there's a photo of Kevin Durant in a hospital bed.
That was after the Raptor series. That was after the Raptor series. Oh,
I got to
man.
laugh, but here it goes. They're basically ripping. So circumstances being what they are, the 49ers were plus 600 over the summer to win the Super Bowl. Blah, 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 blah. They still got to play the Cardinals. The door is wide open for them to not make the playoffs. On one hand, you feel bad for 49ers supporters because they were so close last year. Then you remind yourself that they're a terrible fan base that likes to fight and stab, not just opposing fans, but each other. And here's my favorite line of the whole article. Throw in Bonta Hill and Joe Shasky ripping Philadelphia and Eagle fans, and Deebo Samuel for talking poop for a year straight. Throw in Nick Bosa accusing Philadelphia of planning construction outside of the hotel, and Diamondor Lenore for mixing it up with Eagles fans after the Super Bowl loss. And he just goes on. If you're enjoying the 49ers downfall and that makes you a sick individual, well, I'm the leper from Kingdom of Heaven.
Oh, good stuff.
The downfall is near and it's coming hard.
I take this as a badge of honor.
Well, I do too. You know
Years
why?
later, they're still chirping our names.
Well, you know what's
I
funny?
love it.
Well, you know what's funny? Not only that article, because I was like, oh, this is cute. They still got us on their braids, right? Jason Dubas, I'm on his close friends list on Instagram, and he's talking. He's talking that talk now that he's back in Philly.
Of course.
And I said, oh, I see you.
What's he talking?
I see
What's
you.
he saying?
It couldn't have. Oh, I can't. I'm a buzz Dumas out. I love you, Dumas.
Talking
but I
about
gotta
Joel
bust you
Embiid
out.
and Paul George.
Yeah, he ain't going to talk about that right now. Philly doesn't talk about losers. They stay away from that. They're kind of front runners. They are front runners. So he goes, here it is right here. He shared a text thread that he was having with somebody. Eagles win, Niners down 21-3 at the half. Debo, no stats. This is what heroin feels like. And then he goes, today's my son's third birthday. You know what he asked me? Who has more Super Bowls, Eagles or Niners? And then he goes, throwing on the Bill Walsh era highlight reel. I don't know who he's talking to there, but he had never enjoyed watching the Chiefs struggle more than them. That's Dubas right there. And he goes, bro, can't stand him.
Bonta.
So, you know what? It's all good.
I love Jason. I love Jason, and I'm going to say this on these airwaves. I say we revoke his Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame vote and give it to me.
Oh, of course. Of course.
That's all.
Of course. That's what it comes down.
Return the keys to the city.
For 3 years. He's been holding on to that for 3 years.
I ended up being right.
3 years. 3 years.
It bothers me.
It does bother me.
But you know what, though?
I was going to play all 82 games like LeBron, and now I'm reconsidering.
And now, Philadelphia, you better win the Super Bowl because just like Sam Lovin knows from this morning, you don't win it all after talking that talk. I will come out of the cuts lurking. I ain't
Like the Kool-Aid man. He'll come flying through the wall, ready to hit the haterade.
Oh, baby.
Listen. I will sit here.
Baby.
I'm not going to sit here in week number, what is this, week 13, 14, 15. I'm not going to say nothing this week. I'm not going to say nothing next week. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm talking about the Niners.
I'm not going to
I'm
sugarcoat.
not going to do a sugarcoat job. But when you lose.
We'll be out here.
I'll be out here.
Like Chris Tucker with Debo, like Smokey says, like the minute Debo gone, I'd be talking again.
All right. The best running backs available right now, apparently.
Give it to me.
The Tay Train, Latavius Murray. You want the Tay Train?
Raider
what was he
legend.
called?
The Tay Train.
No, there was another one. He had
The
another
Pocket
nickname.
Rocket, Jalen Rashad.
No, but I thought Latavius, this is the dawning of the age of Latarius. I think Greg Papa did that one time. One of his many horrible bits.
No, he's got some great bits. Relax. Dude,
Ayuk.
That guy.
Ayuk.
You want to talk about Bay Area
Ayuk
Hall of
is on
Famer.
fire.
That guy's a Hall of Famer. Jerick McKinnon is available. The Jet.
That's your boy. That's your boy.
Paper airplane. Who
We
died?
could get him and Kirk Cousins,
But you know
and
what?
Kirk could throw paper airplane outs to him, and he could drop them,
But you
or
know
they get
what?
picked.
But you know what?
Jet.
He does have a Super Bowl.
I hate him.
Melvin Gordon, Wisconsin Badger, former Charger, and Bronco.
He'll fumble the flight on the way over here.
He's always available in fantasy if you want 3.1 points.
Now I think Lovett's trolling me. Alex Arma, who the hell is that?
I have no idea.
I play fantasy football. I don't even know who that is.
I don't even know.
Eno Benjamin?
Bonta, I started a guy this week. I'm down so bad. I started a guy I'd never heard of him before.
Who?
I'm going to give it to you right here.
Giovanni Ricci?
Who is that?
Dwayne McBride?
Come on.
Cheetah. Matt Breed is available.
Kimani Vidal for the Chargers. I started this week.
James Robinson.
He's the 84th ranked running back. That's how bad it is in our league.
That's how bad your team is. James Robinson.
Everyone's hurt.
James Robinson. No, your team's just bad. I'm looking at playoffs in at least 4 of my leagues. James Robinson. Isaiah Spiller. Royce Freeman.
The only Spiller I recognize is CJ from Clemson. Always available in fantasy as well.
Underwhelming NFL career. All right, Lucky in San Francisco. He's got a concern that we have to get to. He's concerned about something as we get deeper into the Niners.
It's too much.
They're 5-7 right now. They hold the 14th pick in the NFL draft. There's a 3-way tie for the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Jacksonville, Las Vegas, to the New York Giants. How about the Jaguars getting the number 1 pick? You know they don't need a quarterback. Oh, look, it's fidelity.
But what if they want to trade Trevor?
In that contract? Would you be interested in Trevor?
I wonder what teams would be.
You?
Let me mull that over on the break.
Because you are flippity floppity. You know what I'm getting you for Christmas? Hey, Anna, cancel the Christmas order. We're getting Shasky flip-flops. They're 4-14.
4-14. I was close.
4-14. 4-14. They did get a big win against the Pistons the other day. 111-96.
That's a big win.
Huge win. Tyrese Maxey, 28 points.
Cade Cunningham and them boys.
Paul George, 4 of 12, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Kelly Oubre Jr., our good friend, 14 points, 6 rebounds. But I guess, if they have the Philadelphia Eagles, and, there's no denying the Eagles are playing well. Playing really good football, 8 in a row, really good defense, 10-2. They are a legit Super Bowl contender. When you look at the Super Bowl division, I should say, it's Detroit, it's Philadelphia, it's Kansas City, it's Buffalo. I'm going to throw Pittsburgh in there. I know a lot of people don't like Pittsburgh, but Russ is cooking. Pittsburgh's cooking.
Russ is available maybe next year.
You want Russ?
No.
Would you want Russ as a Niner? You accepted Richard Sherman. You would accept Russ.
He is playing good football, though. I'll give him
really good football.
No, I don't want Russ. I don't want Russ.
If Russ signed with the 49ers,
we'd be dangerous.
Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's not even close. Right?
I would rather have Russ.
Question.
I'd rather have Russ.
Nope.
I'd rather have Russell Wilson. At least Russell Wilson, it's not going to break apart the locker room.
What are you talking about?
Go look at Pittsburgh.
He ended the freaking dynasty that they thought they had in Seattle.
I watched all the Pittsburgh's press conferences because I like to listen to Tomlin talk. Tomlin's a hell of a talker. Najee Harris, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, George Pickens. Those guys swear by Russell Wilson. They swear by him.
Because they've been walking the Kenny Pickett line for so long.
No, you honestly would rather deal with Aaron Rodgers than Russell Wilson?
For 1 year, yes.
You're out of your mind.
Probably, yes.
You're out of your mind.
But you asked me a question beforehand, and it was the hypothetical Trevor Lawrence thing. And look, Brock has played at a higher level than Trevor Lawrence at any point in his career, right? But if it was out there, and again, I don't know what the guarantees are, so because that kind of skews things. Like, what's the price point on Trevor when you acquire him? That I don't know, because the way that guarantees shake down. Yeah. Jacksonville might pay portions of his salary. Like, I don't know where it breaks down. I don't love paying him the money at all. I didn't think he deserved the extension in Jacksonville. I know, what are you gonna do? You got to pay it to him. No, you don't. You don't have to pay it to him. He was the number 1 overall pick. He had certain guarantees already in his contract. He had a 5th-year option. You could have franchise tagged him. I don't know. The business strategy from some of these teams is mind-boggling. That being said, depending on the price point and what it would cost you, I would look into Trevor Lawrence.
I'm not letting you get away with that. As the segment is sponsored by Golden State Lumber, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed,
you can find a deal.
Succeed.
You can find a deal.
Let me read the read. They pay money for this. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com.
Go ask for
I'm not.
my friend Carrie.
The way you've ridiculed and raked Trevor Lawrence over the coals, saying you want nothing. No, I'm not letting you get away with that.
It's like an Andrew Wiggins situation. I'm taking a number 1 overall pick who might need a new spot, and similar to you, I'm buying low on Andrew Wiggins.
You didn't buy
I might do the same thing on Trevor Lawrence.
Buy low
but Bonta, now I'm a mature man, and I've listened and I've learned from my mistakes, and I'm listening to what the king is telling me.
Spinoni, get in here.
All right, so Trevor Lawrence signed a 5-year.
This guy would rather have Rodgers than Russell Wilson.
He signed a 5-year, $275 million contract extension with the Jacksonville Jaguars this past offseason, $37.5 million signing bonus, and $200 million of that is guaranteed. Now, the cap hits per year for starting next year, $17 million, $24 million, $35 million. Then in 2028 starts getting really heavy, $47 million. Then there's a potential out in 2029. After that, though, then the cap hits $78 million, and then $74 million. But so it's not horrible. The caps, they're really not the next couple of years.
But what are the cash guarantees over the next couple of years? That's the thing that matters to me.
Like the dead cap?
No, just the cash.
No, he's got most of the guarantees.
Yeah, he's got 200 of it is guaranteed already.
Yeah, he's probably already got that money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it's the per year cap hit.
Interesting. I mean, it's a lot more palpable than I thought on the outside looking in.
Well, here's the free agent list of quarterbacks. If you do want to move off.
No, I don't want to. I'm just.
I didn't say you.
Yeah,
I'm just saying to everybody.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson.
I wonder what Sam Darnold.
Trey Lance.
Okay, keep going.
Jacoby Brissett, Taylor Heineke, Marcus Mariota.
It's getting worse.
Drew Lock, Jared Stidham.
Drew Lock fought the other night.
Andy Dalton, Justin Fields.
The Red Rifle.
I'm intrigued with Justin Fields. Joe Flacco.
To do what? Play running back?
No, he can spin it. He can spin it. Joe Flacco. Jameis Winston. Oh, here's a name.
Jameis Winston is actually an interesting one.
Just for the sound bites, Jameis.
No.
He might be the greatest roller coaster in sports history.
Yeah, Shanahan's not dealing with that. Come on. Here's the name that I think is realistic. Even in the backup role to start.
Don't say Nick Mullins.
Nope. Can you guess what I'm going to say? I'll let you guys take a guess. Everybody in this room, take a guess.
Daniel Jones.
You haven't mentioned him yet, I'm assuming.
Nope, haven't mentioned him yet. It's going to be a free agent.
He's going to be a free agent, so...
Joe Flacco.
Justin Fields?
Gardner Minshew.
Nope. Mac Jones.
It all comes back to Mac.
No. Shanahan liked him coming out of the draft.
God.
You don't think Mac Jones? That's more realistic than any of these guys.
I actually believe in that conspiracy that he actually liked Mac Jones more than Trey Lance, and he was pressured into it. I actually
don't know who pressured him.
I feel like the media pressured Kyle into taking him.
No, because most
of
the media wanted Mac Jones. Do you think it's dad, Mike Shanahan?
I have no
Because remember
idea.
we talked to the North Dakota State coach, and he said Mike was at every meeting. Mike was there with the whole ride. Mike Shanahan was on the PJ with Shanahan, and Lynch, and everybody.
I think where we're going with all this is you're listing all these things. It is wild how everything's up on the table right now. And I think when you have a lost season, and which is what the Niners are having the season from hell. Yeah. Like, let's just call it what it is, the season from hell. And Purdy's been up and down. He's had some brilliant moments. He's had some down moments. And when you make a financial commitment that we thought they were going to make at the beginning of the year to Brock Purdy, you are locking yourself in for at least a couple of years. Now, I think most of us think they're going to figure out a way to give him a couple of years with some big money. But the talk of like resetting the quarterback market, like, whoa, we're pumping the brakes on all that. I will be the first to admit that I have got everything on the table. And what I mean by everything on the table is I want to see these next 5 games play out. Can Purdy stay upright? Can he stay healthy? What does he look like with diminished talent around him? Because that could sway me if he looks great with very little around him. That could reinforce my belief in him. If he looks sketch, if he re-injures himself, because there's some body questions. Like today, you're asking me today, I'm like, yeah, I would bring in another quarterback either in the draft or behind. Like Brandon Allen's not good enough. Josh Dobbs not good enough behind him to push him. You can't have enough quarterbacks. But I'm still not done making assessments on Purdy.
Let's go to Lucky in the city. Lucky, what's happening? You're on the roast.
What's happening, Bonta and Shasky? Man, look.
What's up, Lucky?
I just got off work, man, and I'm listening to you guys. I know you guys have to, have a topic and whatnot. Y'all driving me crazy, man. The names that you said as quarterbacks for us? Come on, man. Mac Jones, you might as well put me on there, Bonta. I'm 5', 6.5.
Hey, Lucky.
Man. Come on, man.
Hey, Lucky. This team does have Brandon Allen on the roster, and they do have Josh Dobbs. I know he is. I know he. Hey, listen, I'm more. Look, I don't like calling people trash, But you know what? I wouldn't have him on my football team. I'll just say that. But Shanahan does, and Shanahan seems to have guys like Nick Mullins and C.J. Beathard.
He can win you a game.
Yeah, no, he can't. Lucky, but what's your concern, man? What's your concern with this football team right now?
Health, Bonta, health. And I hear what you guys are saying about Brock Purdy playing in these next few games. Him, Talanoa, Drake Greenlaw, Diamador Lenore, sit them all. Sit them all. Let the rookies, let whoever we got on the team go get, like you said, go get Frank Gore Jr. Bring him on. And if you really want to, I don't know, man, Drew Lock, I guess, go snatch him up, man. And
just a backup. I'm just looking at backups like Mac Jones, Justin Fields. I would feel a lot better about them backing up Brock Purdy than Brendan Allen.
Why Mac Jones, out of curiosity?
I think Mac Jones he has a good arm. I think he hasn't been his rookie season, I thought was okay.
I thought it was okay. It was good.
And Belichick did him a disservice by hiring Matt Patricia and Joe Judge as an offensive coordinator. And that set him back tremendously. Now he's been able to work under Doug Peterson, who, look, Jaguars having a disastrous season. There's no doubt. But at least learn it from Doug Peterson. We know he's a quarterback-friendly coach. I think Mac Jones will take some of that input, and Shanahan does have a quarterback-friendly system. Mac Jones ain't the worst thing in the world. I don't think Mac Jones is that bad. Now, can he start for you 17 games and be on the Super Bowl contending team? I don't know.
As a backup, okay, I see your point of view.
I'm not talking.
I see your point of view.
I want to just make this clear. I'm not trying to replace Brock Purdy right now. I'm trying to build around Brock Purdy. Now, when we get to the price point about what he's worth and everything, I have question marks about that.
Yes.
And you have to be willing to play ball here. So would you get the same production from Mac Jones as you would from Brock Purdy? Probably not. Brock Purdy does some things very well. Pocket awareness is very good, but he has taken a step back.
The ball security's been the biggest issue for me.
Ball security's been bad. Very bad. But you don't think Shanahan would say, you know what? Let's give Mac Jones a tryout.
If you brought in Mac Jones, for me, you better draft a quarterback simultaneously. Right now, the way the league is set up, you get that emergency quarterback spot. That is a redshirt spot. That guy you should be redshirting someone and developing. And this has been one of my big beefs with Shanahan. He doesn't really want to develop the quarterback.
Now, we think about this. With Justin Fields, right? Because he's a number name. I'm intrigued with Justin Fields. I am. I don't know why.
Well, he lost his job.
He did lose. But no, they went to Russell Wilson. And look, it was the right decision. But he did lead the Steelers to a 4-2 record. They were 4-2.
Okay.
And Justin Fields' accountability saying, hey, look, if I put myself in this position to have this job taken away from me because I didn't play my best. And I thought that accountability for Justin Fields, I was like, wow, look at this young man. He's a very mature young man. But he wasn't having a bad season. 5 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Threw for over 1,100 yards. Had 281 on the ground. And when I think about the Shanahan system, he wants to get to 30 carries, right? He wants to get to 30, 35 carries, run the ball down your throat, and set up the play action pass. Justin Fields on the perimeter is deadly. He is deadly. And I think he's learned something from Arthur Smith. So these are flyers, low-risk, high-reward guys I'm talking about here. Yeah. Not as starters, but Justin Fields, I'll bring him into the quarterback room. Maybe he's too much of a threat to Brock Purdy. I have no idea. But I thought he played well in Pittsburgh this season. I really did. I thought Justin Fields was playing. They were 4-2 when nobody thought the Steelers would be 4-2.
You would. I mean, this is funny how 3 years later, we're literally like thinking about the two guys that could have been draft picks at the number 3 slot, Mac Jones and Justin Fields being, backup options for Brock Purdy. It's just a wild sentence.
And you would think
I'm not mad at you for suggesting it.
Look at my boy Q on Get Up, man. My boy Q's out there on Get Up on the screen. Look at that. Wow. But you think about this for low-risk, high-reward moves with these guys. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at the backups because Brendan Allen's not good enough as a backup quarterback. If Brock Purdy's going to have arm issues and shoulder issues, and I know that durability, because that's what we're talking about here with Brock Purdy now, moving forward. Can he stay healthy for 17 games a season?
What's the bigger concern for you, the body or the up and down play?
Well, I don't think he's been as up and down. I think he's had a solid season.
He has not looked good the last month.
He hasn't thrown deep the last month, which is surprising.
But also, are they correlated, I guess, then is the question.
But everything has to work around you, right? We think about Tom Brady. I thought Tom Brady was washed his last year in New England. I was convinced he was done. Father Time knocked on the door, kicked down the door, and I was like, yeah, Brady's done. He's going to go to Tampa. It's going to be lousy. Tom Brady's done. But he was also throwing to Kimbrell Tompkins. I can't name another receiver on that Patriots team.
They had Jacoby Myers.
Okay.
As a rookie, as an undrafted rookie. The only reason I know is because I watched every Patriot game because I had Tom Brady.
I mean, so Brock Purdy is throwing to Deebo Samuel, who can't get separation. Juwan Jennings is a very good receiver, but he's not gaining separation. He's not a downfield threat. Enrique Pearsall's run 63 routes the last 3 games. It gotten 3 targets and no catches. So I don't know how good the receiving core is. So is that on Brock Purdy? Or is that on Shanahan and John Lynch on getting better wide receivers in here? I don't know these things. So what if he has just one explosive playmaker? Like when Brady went down to Tampa Bay, you have Mike Evans. He brought down Gronk. They bring in Antonio Brown, and the rest is history.
No, I hear you. That's like for excellence. But I see a lot of quarterbacks around the league that, for whatever reason, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week stretches, they don't have their top dogs. We saw Matt Stafford without Puka and Cooper Kupp. And although it wasn't beautiful in terms of a box score, the guy is a swashbuckler late in games, and he makes things happen. Brock's had moments like that when all the Avengers are out there and all the superstars, but you take a couple guys away, and that's the difference to me of, can I carry this organization for quarters, stretches at times, and I need everything humming on the right point. And there's times where I don't know, man. I think he's really good. But when you make a commitment of $55, $65 million, I have the same questions about Tua. I don't think Tua can do it, for long stretches without Waddle and Tyreek Hill and say, hey, get on my back, let's do this.
But you know what? When he's on the field, man, he is producing.
Tua?
Tua.
No, I doubt. But
he is producing at a high level.
But if it drops under 40 degrees, I have zero faith in him.
There's no doubt. But do you have faith in Brock Purdy under 40 degrees now?
Right now, if it trickles a little bit of rain, it's like the over-under is 1.5 in terms of turnovers in the pocket.
Unbelievable.
So that, to me, there's a combination of the body that I'm I don't know. And then there's dude, you're getting a little turnover happy this year.
I'm wondering for the legal. All right, I was about to do the legal right now. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and AC1 San Francisco, an Odyssey Sports Station, always live on a free Odyssey app. All right, Brian Baldinger is going to join us at 7:30. 7:30, Brian Baldinger.
Crack.
We'll talk to Dr. Brian Feely from UCSF. He'll join us at 8:30.
Crack.
Talk about some of these injuries on the 49ers and should they be long-term concerns, short-term concerns. We'll get into that with Dr. Brian Feely for about 10 minutes at 8:30. Baldy at 7:30, like I just mentioned. He'll break down the Buffalo game and what to do moving forward. But I want to hear from Niner fans. 888-957-9570. One, do you still think the playoffs are a realistic possibility? And if you don't, how do you navigate the rest of the year? Do you start shutting down? And I'm not saying tanking, trying to lose on purpose, but Fred Warner does have a fractured ankle. Nick Bosa does have a hip and oblique injury. Trent Williams is dealing with an ankle and personal issues. Drake Greenlaw has to step on the field since rupturing his Achilles tendon in the Super Bowl. Do you play him knowing that he's an upcoming free agent? 888-957-9570. If you were the GM of the 49ers or the head coach of the 49ers, how would you navigate the next 5 games? The next 5 games are Chicago, the Rams, the Dolphins, the Lions, and the Cardinals. How would you navigate the next 5 games with this football team? How would you do it, Shasky?
It's case by case. So, Fred Warner, the last thing I want you to be is Patrick Willis. If you have a fractured foot, and you end up, or an ankle or whatever it is, and it ends up hurting you long term, I can ill afford to have my Hall of Fame level middle linebacker go into another season with an injured foot. That's the last thing. I'm just so gun shy with what happened with Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman that I would say, if we can, I would shut Fred down. Fred has nothing to prove to me. Right, I need Fred, especially at that position where I treat it kind of like the running back, where if I can reduce some of the wear and tear, I think you owe it to yourself. Nick Bosa. Nick needs to get whatever oblique surgery or hip surgery or whatever the exact issue is on the side of his body. He needs to get that shored up because I need him 100% next year. And then I need to have a long look in the mirror with myself and with Nick Bosa. Hey, bro, are you going down your brother's path? Are you just going to be hurt 1 week, play the next, hurt the next week after that? What is going on? Can I rely on you? I'm dead serious. I think this is a serious question that I'm having right now with Bosa, which I didn't even see 2 years ago. And then you get to Brock Purdy, right? And to me, Brock Purdy is the more complicated one. On one level, I watched Jimmy Garoppolo earn his stripes with no weapons. Lewis Murphy as the number one, if you will, in a lost season and win 5 in a row and just basically inspire the fan base. And there's something to be said for that. But on the same level, when it comes to body and injury, if his shoulder is serious and it's affecting him and he has forearm or elbow or anything, and if there's connected and my doctors are concerned even in the slightest, as I watch this guy throw screen after screen after screen and can't throw spirals, like there is a real conversation about shutting him down for the health of the kid and the health of the team and everything. And we'll worry about the contract when we worry about the contract.
That's interesting there. 650 Comcast Business Text Line. You know how I navigate? I talk about the Warriors. Well, they're on a 4-game losing streak right now, and we will get into the Golden State Warriors. They have to win tonight. It's an Emirates NBA Cup game. We know that. You're all into the Cup game.
Well, the number one seed is at stake in the West for the NBA Cup.
Did you hear LeBron yesterday saying, I don't care about this tournament. The tournament makes no sense?
Of course.
After being the first guy to pop champagne last year in Las Vegas. What a joke he is. You wanted him, not me. D in San Francisco. D, what's happening?
What's going on, Bonta and Shasky? How y'all doing this morning?
What's up, D?
Man?
Hey, you guys need to let the fans know they need to relax. It's not that serious. The bottom line is, look at the big picture. The coach has lost all of his key coaching assistants over the last 5 years, and what we're seeing on the field is a direct impact of that. The reality of it is, the special teams is garbage because of coaching. The doggone defensive coordinators, he's gotten a terrible one this year because he went to the Super Bowl and he had to pick up who he could at the end, which was somebody on his staff. I think that this is overrated. The Niners are going to be back next year, back in the hunt for the Super Bowl. The reality, when we get all of our players back healthy, he gets a good coaching squad around him. And as Shasky is far, go ahead.
I was just going to cut you off, not to cut you off, but I wanted to ask you, who would you be interested in as a defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, some assistants here? You got any names in mind?
No names in mind. That's not my specialty. That's what them guys over there are supposed to be able to assess and find the right match for them. But I think the coaching staff and our entire staff over there is good enough to pick the right people. They just need to have the time in order to do it.
I asked a question before the break. 888-957-9570, because I know Niner fans are exhausted right now. It's been an up and down roller coaster, starting from the Super Bowl loss in Las Vegas in this offseason. And everybody's talking about the 49ers. RG3's talking about the Niners. You know, how the Brandon Ayuk situation has affected this season. But Matt Higgin had a great tweet, and I want to steal it. And I want to ask this question. If you had to say one thing that pisses you off or disappoints you the most about the Niners this season, what would it be? Because it's now turning into a disappointment season. And the last 2 weeks, you get beat by Green Bay, what was it? 30-10, 31-10, they got blown out. And then 38-10 in Green Bay, 35-10 in Buffalo. You scored 20 points the last 2 weeks. 20 points while giving up 73. You've lost a turnover battle, 6-0. You've committed 6 turnovers the last 2 weeks, and you've forced none. So, what's been the most disappointing thing? What's the one thing that pisses you off, Niner fans, about this season? 888-957-9570. And I'll start with you, Shasky.
Yeah, the most disappointing thing, and I think this has been kind of a constant theme throughout a multi-year thing, but this year in particular has reared its head. It's not just the fans. It's also the players and the organization. The excuses and the denial. The excuses on why they've lost or they've come up short over the years, and in particular this year, and then the denial to acknowledge where you are and what you are. And I thought that yesterday, and I saw a lot of people arguing about this online, in my friend groups, on face-to-face. Shanahan basically came out and was like, hey, we're not as good as we were the last couple of years. And everyone was losing their mind. You don't say that when you're coaching a team. And, hey, look, I've coached lots of teams, and I'm not pretending to be a professional coach. But I believe that sometimes the best way to connect with people is actually being honest and telling someone, like, dude, you're not that good, actually. I love you. Like, you got a long way to go. Do you want me to gaslight you, or do you want me to be honest? I actually appreciated Kyle finally acknowledging, after getting blown out 25 points multiple times in the last couple weeks, saying like, yeah, we're not as good as we were the last couple years. And he's not wrong. And it's okay to say it every now and then. No one is saying that it's you're throwing the players under the bus and you're not taking accountability. No, I just thought it was a moment of clarity and self-awareness. And I actually appreciate Kyle being real about it, because I've heard Debo say, we think we're the best team in the league. Like, no, you're not. Like, I know you could feel that way, but you haven't won the ultimate prize. And there's been a denial at every sense of turn. And look, I agreed with them at points. Hey, Brock Purdy got hurt in Philadelphia. All right. Like, yeah, it sucks, but they also did knock you out. And there's no guarantee that you win with Brock Purdy in that game. In the Super Bowl, we knew the rules. No, you didn't. You didn't know the rules. You didn't know the rules. You screwed up. There were multiple points. Let's throw Steve Wilkes under the bus. Nah, Bosa, how about you make a play on 4th and 2? You know, all of these things coming to roost this year more than ever. The excuses, the injuries, the contracts, the this, the that, the denial of the players and the fans to acknowledge like they're not as good. Finally, Kyle said that. Like, that's been one of the things I've been most frustrated with this year. Excuse making.
I don't know how many excuses I've heard, but the most disappointing aspect of this season to me, it's just it's the offseason. It's the way the season started.
Okay.
That's the most disappointing thing to me. As we all go through the lulls of summer, and we're watching the sad sack baseball team in the San Francisco Giants, we're watching this guy, Farhan Zaidi. I mean, I know you guys talk probably Blake Snell on Wednesday as he signed to the Dodgers. Look, I didn't care whether or not he was traded or not. I just wanted the Giants to pick a lane. Are you all in or are you all out? Because if you're all in, you make trades for other assets. But instead, they sold off Soler. They sold off a couple other players, Alex Cobb. And they just said, oh, we have the best rotation in baseball. We're going to be fine. Wait, what?
Alex Cobb!
You made moves to save money. So you didn't pick a lane. That was the most frustrating aspect about that. But we were working ourselves up to get ready for a bounce-back season. Okay, they lost the Super Bowl. Let's get charged up. It's football. We love football. Football is king. And we get to training camp, and there's the Ayuk situation. And you get to training camp, and it's, oh, wait, Trent's not here. And then Shanahan goes up to the podium and said, yeah, we kind of brace ourselves for Trent not being here. Wait, what? And Trent doesn't show up. Trent doesn't show up until the last, until the week before the season. So the most disappointing aspect of bouncing back from a Super Bowl loss in that fashion in overtime was that everything wasn't buttoned up going into training camp. They let these things just linger. The Ayuk situation lingered and lingered and lingered. Now, I'm not here to go back in the past and say, well, it was his fault. It was their fault.
Both parties screwed up.
Both parties are culpable, but the fact that lingered so deeply into training camp, and then you think about what happened in training camp. Oh, McCaffrey's out with a calf injury. Oh, later on, we find out week 1 against the Jets that it's an Achilles.
Well, that's the part of the excuses for me. Like, they let us on like McCaffrey was going to be ready to go.
No, and he wasn't. But you got to play gamesmanship for other teams. I get that aspect of it, that you don't want other teams to have intel on what's going on in your building. Hockey does it all the time with lower body injuries, upper body injuries. They're not going to reveal anything. But also, Ricky Pearsall, your first-round pick, okay, if Ayuk's not going to be here, well, let's see what Slick Rick has. And Slick Rick can't stay on the football field in training camp. And that was before he got, unfortunately, shot down here at Union Square. And then you get to the fact that this gets lost to the shuffle, and it should have been a microcosm, or it should have been a sign of things to come. And we were in denial as fans. They couldn't even scrimmage the New Orleans Saints because they didn't have enough healthy bodies. They had to cancel a scrimmage, cancel a flight down to L.A. to scrimmage. And it was like, wow, we should have saw this all coming. We should have all seen it coming. And we didn't, because we thought that they could overcome this because they have in the past, and yet they didn't. So that's the most disappointing aspect to me, was that they didn't handle their business before training camp, and they let things in the offseason linger into training camp and into the season, and here we are now at 5-7.
You know, it's funny you referenced the offseason. The first practice, non-padded, we went to, and what did I come out saying the next day? It's like, man, they felt a little flat.
Well, there's no fans there.
No, I know, but there wasn't the same, because Greenlaw brings this intensity. Ayuk, for whatever we want to argue about, Ayuk and Fred went at it the last couple of years. There was an intensity. There was a level of intrigue and excitement, whether it was the Sam Darnold and Trey Lance stuff in the background of Brock Purdy recovering from an elbow injury. There was always something, and it felt like it just felt flat that first day.
Dude, it was flat, and I thought you were going to bring up the fact that Isaac Grandel popped his hamstring
another
in the first practice right in front of us.
Omen.
Popped his hamstring. We're like, damn, he's out 3 weeks. Saw it right away. First carry, boom, pop, hamstring gone. And so Devondre Campbell getting beat on the corner route. It's like, wow, that was first day of practice too. So the offseason is the most disappointing aspect. This team acted as if they were the Cleveland Browns at time, and they've been one of the most buttoned-up organizations in the last 7 years. But this offseason, you drafted wide receiver. Now everybody's saying, man, we should have had Lab McConkey. We should have had this guy. We should have had that guy. Cooper
That's how it
Dean.
works.
That's how it works. But Baldy talks about Pearsall. He goes, wait, I didn't even know that stat because I don't even notice him on film. That's our first-round pick.
I hate saying this, but like Rashawn Woods, A.J. Jenkins, like, look, Ricky's got a long way to go. It's his first year. But on a team that desperately needed impact across the board, it is not a great year one impact pick.
Well, here's what Baldy had to say about Pearsall.
What surprised me about that stat right there, because I did not know that, is that he's even run 63 routes. Because you don't even notice him. You don't even know he's on the field. Like, that's how invisible he is. I'm thinking, well, where is he? All right, I see Jawan out there slipping and sliding. I see George doing what he's doing. Like, where's the ball even going for the most part? It's not really, I don't even know who it's going to. Obviously, it's not going to Pearsall. I talked to him on the field before the game in Green Bay. He said he's here to beat man coverage. I haven't seen him get open. I haven't seen him even look at him where he's even being featured in any way right now.
So he was supposed to be the man beater after losing the Super Bowl because everybody said, oh, the Niners couldn't get off man coverage in the Super Bowl. Kansas City and Spags just press man and bump and run, and they couldn't get any separation. So you draft a guy who apparently was a man beater, yet we're like the Kansas City game. That's why Greg Cosell, God bless his soul, he knows a lot more about football than I do. But I was in the press box for Kansas City, and I told you, I said, I didn't see him beat man coverage much against Kansas City. I saw him get choked up. Now, Greg Cosell said he looked juicy. It was juicy. Remember that? He said juicy. I don't know what that meant, but
then a couple weeks later, he kind of like walked it back on a different podcast.
What'd he say?
Well, that he wasn't getting off of coverage as well.
Oh, so he was just...
I don't know.
Placating to the marketplace.
I don't know. Look, he has a discerning eye. I'll bow down to his expertise and his discerning eye. You know, sometimes you're being asked things and you just say something and you're wrong. But sometimes also, like, the player changes week to week, right? Yep. There's been times this year, let me forget Pearsall, Purdy. There's been times I felt like he's been excellent. And there's other times where I'm like, I don't think he's seeing the field. I don't think he's trusting what he's seen. And is that me waffling back and forth, or is that me being honest and assessing what I'm seeing on a week-to-week basis?
I see the same thing. Here's what Baldy's seeing from Brock Purdy in the snow.
I don't think he's playing great by any stretch, but at the same time, I don't know exactly what he's supposed to do. Like, you throw the ball on the first throw to Kittle, and he doesn't catch another pass. Now, they threw to him. He was interfered with. You know, a couple things happened. He wanted to go to him. He got guys jumping up in his face. They ran the ball very well, which helps, but they're not getting any big plays, you know, and that's kind of falls on the quarterback right now. So that's where they're struggling right now. And the finished drives, I mean, the turnovers are killing them, and they're not taking the ball away. So you're -3 on the road in that conditions. You got Juice fumbling at the goal line, and, you know, Debo fumbling, you know, deep in his territory, and a kickoff. Like, these things are killing his team right now.
You know, Pete, here's the part for me that's tough to come to grips with. I supported Purdy so hard. It's like, man, he is so much better than Jimmy G. And I'm sure a lot of people saw that as me putting Jimmy G down, right? But, like, I really thought this dude was the dude. I thought he was the franchise quarterback. You know, pay him whatever he wants. I've been so unimpressed at times this year. He's had great games. He's had great moments, you know, like the Ram game in particular. But there's been a lot of other times where he's had moments in games, moments in drives to kind of like be the swashbuckler, the franchise quarterback, and just, for example, the Seahawks game, you make the throw to Debo.
Yes.
That game's over.
You make the throw.
You know, make the throw.
What about Arizona? Arizona, you threw the pick. The pick. You're looking for George Kittle on the crosser to win the game.
He's been one of, it's the most important position on sports. You can't talk about the top, 6, 7 teams without talking about quarterback, right? And, like, he's been disappointing for me. I expected better, and I wanted better, and I feel let down because I was championing him so hard, and and now it feels like I'm jumping off the Purdy. I'm not. I'm assessing what I'm seeing, and he's not as good.
Listen, it's a year-to-year league.
He's not playing as good, and it's really. I honestly think it's been a blow to their psyche.
And look, Purdy may be good, not great. He may be good and not great.
That could be
He may not be elite, and that's okay. Can you win without having an elite quarterback? We've seen good quarterbacks win. We've seen quote-unquote game managers win, which I don't subscribe because all quarterbacks are game managers to a certain extent. But can you make that it play? Can you make that off-script play? We haven't seen that enough from Brock Purdy this season. So, look, there's been a lot of ups and a lot of downs with him this year. Now we got to think about the shoulder injury, the elbow, what's going on with that. But also, I look at Purdy's situation. I say, well, damn, his receivers aren't getting open. You got to hold on to the ball a little longer because guys can't separate. You got no speed on the outside. That's what I want. I want a guy like A.J. Brown on this roster. I've been begging for him for years. They're so damn slow on the outside. It's not even funny.
Yeah, but
so
how
I don't
many
know how
teams
much I
would
can
die
blame
to
the
have
court.
Kittle?
I don't know how. Yeah, I get you got Kittle, but maybe teams are doubling him at times. Maybe with the exception of the Buffalo game.
Okay.
I hear Kittle, but for the most part, I'm thinking to myself, damn, I'm looking at these wide receivers every single game. When I'm at the game and I'm in the box or I'm in my seats, the 49ers wide receivers don't get separation
but
whatsoever.
Drake May's throwing to nobody. Like, and Daniel Jones has got Malik Neighbors for half the year this year. Like, that's the plight of a quarterback in the NFL. You know how many teams would die to have a top 5 rusher in Jordan Mason to start the season, or George Kittle, a Hall of Fame tight end?
It's not enough. It's not enough. I mean, I'm looking at the receiver core. But I'm looking at this receiver core, though.
Throwing to?
Yeah, but no. Cortland Sutton is a really good wide receiver.
Okay.
Really good wide receiver.
Is he better than George Kittle?
And they're scheming him up Bo Nix. They're doing a great job. I do subscribe to the fact that you need to just force feed George Kittle. I'm with Baldy on that one. But at the same time, looking at the outside, Baldy said he doesn't even notice Pierce Hall on the film.
Yeah, but Jennings is a solid 2. I think he's a solid number 2.
Solid.
You don't think so?
He's a solid 3, in my opinion. He's solid.
I think he'd be a solid 2 in a lot of places.
The problem is you don't have a 1 or a 3 right now.
That I agree with. But even when they had Ayuk out there, they weren't really clicking.
And we know why they weren't clicking.
Well,
we know why they weren't clicking.
Let's
go to Anthony.
Like, look, who's the number 1 for Josh Allen?
Right. Well, they've got a bunch of weapons, and you have Josh Allen. He's elite. That's the difference. He's elite.
If Shakur came here, would he be a number 1?
No.
Would he be a number 2?
Josh Allen is elite.
Okay.
And I don't think they have a true, they traded for Amari Cooper for a reason.
Yeah.
You still got Keon Coleman. You got Matt Collins as his red zone threat. When they're healthy, Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox are very good tight ends. So you got 2 tight ends. You got some good players out there in Buffalo.
I never write anything off. It is absurd today, though, to say that.
Today.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But it could become a backup. We never know. It could become Andy Dalton. Who knows? Who the hell knows? Could become Jameis Winston. Maybe the jig is up. Maybe it is. So then do you pay them? And that's a conversation we're going to have all off season on the roast. But the Warriors, I brought out the panic meter Saturday night.
I should get royalties for that.
No, why should you get royalties for the panic meter?
Because you always panicking. Like the whole panic thing started with me. Panic at the disco.
No. It was worrying. You were a warrior.
Pivot Don't Panic has been around for 5 years.
No, I brought up on the morning roast when they won the championship. I said, so everybody's panicking now. What's the panic meter? And so NBC took that from the show, which I said, but you want royalties for it, fine.
Pivot Don't Panic has been a staple of the Shasky lexicon for decades.
I should just give you royalties for my entire career.
It goes back to Steve Phelps in the 90s, teaching me basketball back in the day.
I should just give you royalties for my entire career.
Just a little shout out, maybe just a little blurb. Follow Joe Shasky on Instagram.
Like you don't get the blurb every single night on. That's not enough though, huh?
Well, I'll be a little more.
Okay.
It's never enough.
Yeah, no.
I'm greedy.
No, I know it's never enough.
I'm greedy.
Story of my life. Everybody in my life. It's never enough. But are we panicking about the Warriors right now? After a great start, 10-2 start. 10-2 start. Hold on. 10-2 start. They've lost 4 games in a row. They were 12-3 after beating the Pelicans. They blew a 17-point lead to San Antonio a couple Saturdays ago. Last Monday night, they blew an 18-point lead to the Brooklyn Nets.
That one hurt.
They lose to the Thunder Wednesday night. We didn't really get to discuss that game because
it was the Pat Spencer game.
It was Thanksgiving break. And
you got the Pat Spencer game.
Look, you got the Pat Spencer game, and you got a game in which the Warriors missed 14 straight shots in the last 5 minutes of the game. Clutch time situation. They're up 96-93, 5:45 left. Had their slow-mo and one. And I'm thinking, okay, you're about to steal one from Oklahoma City. And they missed 14 consecutive shots and didn't hit a field goal until 19 seconds. Until the 19-second mark when Draymond hit a layup. So you lose that game by 4.
Isaiah Joe was hitting everything.
Well, and so now you get Phoenix, and Phoenix goes 14-21 from the three-point line. Now, Phoenix, they average about 15 makes from three a game. They made 14 in the first half alone.
Yeah, they won that game in the first half.
Tyus Jones averages 11-7.
Hey.
He's a hell of a pickup, 19-9.
Glorified backup or starter?
Well, he's starting on the Phoenix Suns, and he's cooking right now.
He's had a good little run here the last couple years.
Oh, he's been good with Memphis, and he's a solid player. I didn't think he would be in the pros that long.
He played really hard when Ja got out of that playoff series in 2022. Yep. He was the starter after Ja, right?
He was.
Yeah, and he's played really hard. I mean, I like him. He's a really solid player.
Really good player. Really good player. So now they played the Denver Nuggets, the Nuggy Dogs. And you got to be careful because Michelle Pito made a mistake when he came to that nickname. You always got to say Nuggets.
No, don't talk about I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Not a big Michelle Beal fan.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, I mean, she said she was going to stop watching the NFL like 7 years ago. It's complete BS. I mean,
maybe she has. She's covered the NBA.
She was on Willard and Dibs talking about the NFL a couple months back. Yes.
Was she out there
selling something Super Bowl week?
Oh, well, that's why. It's making money. You'll sell your soul for Super Bowl. That's what we all do. When the almighty dollar comes into play, we all sell out.
That's not watching football. That's just getting the bag. I respect
there
that.
you go.
So my Nuggets breakdown, I was doing a little deep dive on the Nuggy Nugs, and Nikola Jokic, still amazing.
Yep.
Basically 30 and a triple-double the last however many games. He's unreal.
He is unreal.
And then Jamal Murray shooting the poorest he's shot since his rookie year. They're obviously missing the local kid from Mitty, Gordon, and...
Well, Gordon's back. Gordon was back Sunday night against the Clippers.
Okay. But it seems like in his absence, Michael Porter Jr. is actually taking the ball to the rim more.
Michael Porter Jr.
And Braun's been shooting like crazy.
What does Braun have to do with the Denver Nuggets?
Christian Braun, or whatever, Brown, or however you pronounce his name.
Oh, he said Braun. I was like, what?
Brown. Is it Brown?
It's Brown, but it's spelled B-R-A-U-N.
Yeah, okay. Brown. He's made 4 threes or something like that in every game the last 6 games.
I was like, wait, how do we go from Denver to Braun? Braun, but no. Gordon came back against the Clippers on Sunday. They lost to the Clippers Sunday night. It was a fun game as the Niners were getting blown out. I was like, let me go to league pass.
That. Yeah.
I went to
wasn't
league
league passing it.
I was league passing it.
Yeah, I was watching 49er post-game shows.
No, I was league passing it. I was like, I know.
Ours here on 95.7 The Game.
Yeah, I went straight. Sorry, Kyle Matson. Sorry, Grandy. Sorry, Sterling Bennett.
Oh, it was
I did not listen to 1 second.
I did.
I was building a Gabby Dollhouse watching Clippers and Nuggets.
I went straight to it on YouTube.
And the Clippers now 13-9, won at home. And James Harden scored 39 in that game, 39 and 11 assists. He was really cooking in that one. But Aaron Gordon came back, and he got some nice little he came off the bench in that game, 10 points, 4 assists. We'll see if he comes off the bench. They still have Russell Westbrook, who's going to be a speed demon off the bench. But they have Jokic, and they play at a slow pace. Now, one thing to know about the Denver Nuggets, and you got to look at these numbers here, folks.
Give it to me.
4th in three-point percentage in the league. 4th in three-point percentage. But they take the second lowest amount of threes of any team in the league. They average about 32 three-point attempts a game.
So they're
the second lowest in the league. So they are efficient from the three-point line. Okay. And so what's been an issue for the Warriors in the last couple weeks here? Blow-bys again.
We're back to that?
We're back to that. Guys are blowing by them and getting to the cup. And you know the one thing with the Warriors, and I don't know if it's just me, 888-957-9570 is a number we haven't opened up to Warrior fans. Over the last week, they've looked a little older, and they've looked a bit slow. Kind of like the 49ers.
They need a trade.
Probably.
I mean, look, the other day, I'm watching the game, and I'm like, why is Moses Moody on this team? Like, well, honest to gosh, like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just asking out loud, like, what's the point of having him on the team? What was the point of extending him if you're never going to play him and use him? I don't get. Possibly. I'm not even saying, look, it's year 4. Yeah. And we don't even know what he is.
Yeah, I don't know.
So to me, like, something's got to give. Either you play the guy or you get rid of the guy. Like I don't get what we're doing, and I'm not using Moses Moody as the litmus test for the whole Warrior team, but I just think it's a small microcosm into my frustration this year, where it's like we're year 4 with Kuminga. I'm still not 100% sure on Kuminga, and then like Moody, I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know how good Moody is. He played 3 minutes Saturday night in Phoenix and went 0 for 1. The shot was from the three-point line and 1 turnover, 3 minutes against Phoenix. Pat Spencer played 8 minutes in that basketball game.
See what I'm saying?
Kyle Anderson played 7 minutes in that game. Kuminga was 4-12, over 3. He's kind of out of sorts here. He's got to get back on track off this bench. Buddy Hield has come back down to earth. He had 11 in that Phoenix game in
Yeah.
16 minutes, but his splits over the last 10 hasn't been pretty. He's shooting in the 30s again. So, the bench, as well as the bench, and the points off the bench, remember they were averaging like 60 points a game from their bench. They're down in the low 50s now.
Well, it feels like TJD has taken a little tiny step back. If you flip-flop Looney and TJD, that might help. It might not. I'm not really sure. But it feels like he's taken a little step back. And then the Pods thing, like, I think a big part of the last 3 weeks has been Pods is on a milk carton.
Well, it could have been the case for the season.
No doubt, but I'm saying it's exasperated or whatever with the loss of Melton.
Well, yeah, no doubt. I thought Pods was starting to find it in the OKC game. I thought he was solid. He had a big spurt. What was that, the third quarter where he scored 8? But
couple layups,
to your point, you need one thing this team is lacking, from my eye.
Yeah.
Another playmaker. They need a playmaker.
Agreed.
And they need a rim protector. Guys are going to the cup at will now against the Warriors, and they're going at them. They're going at TJD. They're going at these guys, but also just a playmaker outside of Stephen Curry, who, by the way, has bilateral knee soreness. I'm going to get sick of this word bilateral.
Did you see the report all over the internet, whether it was real or not? NBA Central? No. The Warriors are inquiring on Jordan Poole?
No.
I swear to God.
Is that a real report?
Well, that was the rumor. Rumors are NBA executive says the Warriors are sniffing around Jordan Poole again. I'd take him back.
No, that's NBA Centel, not
that's
Central.
a fake account.
That's the fake one.
Fake account.
You got bamboozled. You got ball sacked.
Damn.
Oh, man.
You're sure?
Yes.
I hate the internet.
Oh, man.
I was honest to God. If they were, I was like, let's do that. I'm down with that. You're not down with that?
They need a playmaker.
I would do that.
They need a playmaker.
Okay, well, I got bamboozled. I feel like
you got bamboozled, but I'm looking at the Chicago Bulls and Kobe White. God. I'm looking at Vucevic. I'm looking at Robert Williams in Portland. I'm looking at Dennis Schroeder. Cam Johnson says he wants to stay in Brooklyn, but he knows business is business. So there's a lot of players. If you want to look at hoop rumors, I suggest you go to hoopshype.com. Hoops Hype.
Oh, that's that much more credible?
Yeah, it's a lot more credible than NBA Central.
I swear I sourced it by seeing how many followers they had. And I was like, that's legit.
That's how you sourced it.
That's how you get ball sack tweets on the show. Does Iguodala work on your calves? That one?
No, it's biceps. He has bicep implants.
Yeah, bicep implants.
We all thought that was real, by the way.
I got bamboozled by Kuminga grew 3 inches over the summer, and he's 7 feet tall now.
Who came up with that one? Oh, my God. Who said that?
Brian Windhurst instead of Windhorst.
He grew 3 inches. Unbelievable.
I'm dead serious, though. If there was any validity to that, which clearly there's not, but if there was, I would do that. I would take Jordan Poole back in a heartbeat.
I bet you would.
You wouldn't?
They need a playmaker.
Would you rather pay Jordan Poole $28 million a year or Kuminga $38?
Probably Jordan.
Exactly.
Probably Jordan. But there definitely is something there's something brewing with the Warriors, and I think they're fishing for something. I don't know this. I have no account. I'm just saying. I'm just being Bonta Hill, the radio
Kuzma
guy.
and Poole?
Relax on Kyle Kuzma. Have you watched him? You got to watch League Pass. Dude.
No, I don't. But I know that they've been trying to move that contract for years.
Kyle Kuzma, you want to stay
barely
away
plays.
From. Yeah, it's a reason for that. He is who he is.
Bonta,
you want to say
the businessman and you would pivot immediately.
You want it? No, I wouldn't. Kyle Kuzma, no. I told you. I look up to his face, and Levi said, thank God y'all didn't trade for Paul George. Thank God. And I didn't even want Markkanen. Thank God. Imagine if they traded for Paul George. Oh, my God. Oh. You still have your assets. You have your draft picks.
Okay, well,
you have players. You can make some moves here. But also offensively, they're just sputtering here. The crunch time numbers against OKC, against Brooklyn, against San Antonio, even against Phoenix. Phoenix goes on a 14-3 run. Warriors try to get back into the Phoenix like, well, here's a dagger 3. Here we go. They need a playmaker bad because when Steph is not on the floor, who's making a play for somebody?
Nobody.
Who can dribble by their man?
No, Pods does. Then he comes to a jump stop in the key and then pivots 7 times.
So here's what Steve Kerr, because if they don't have Draymond Green tonight.
Well, who's guarding Jokic?
Exactly. Here's what Steve Kerr said about his status yesterday's shoot-around.
So obviously doubtful tomorrow. I think Raymond told me questionable. I would call it doubtful.
Yeah.
We got to be careful for the reasons you're asking this question. Doubtful tomorrow. We'll see how he holds up.
So right now on the injury report, it says left calf tightness. Draymond is questionable.
He was not good in the close. He's not alone, but he wasn't good in the closing minutes. Him and Steph, they turned the ball over a couple of times. Just some bad, unforced turnovers in half-court situations. And so to your point, that extra playmaker is dramatically needed. And I felt like Steve Kerr has been searching. Yep. He's tried GP2. He's tried Lindy Waters. He's tried various combinations, and not a lot of them are working.
Now, Stephen Curry's injury, we know about that. He spoke Saturday after the game against Phoenix. He only took 5 shots in the first half, byproduct of Phoenix playing very good defense. But he erupted. He missed the game Wednesday night.
Yeah.
He erupted for 15 points in that third quarter. He was 5 and 9, 3 for 3 from 3. He started moving around a lot better. He was a little rusty in the first half, but they asked him about the rotation. First, you know what? I'll play the sound about the knee tendonitis, and then we'll get to the rotations.
Has the potential to be like a nagging type thing if you don't take care of it. And thankfully, Rick been great trying to give me a protocol to kind of stick with on a day-to-day, and knowing that's something I can get ahead of and not, chase throughout the year, which is the plan. So I'm not worried about it, not concerned about it at all. It's just the deeper you get into your career, more things pop up, and you just got to, figure it out.
Now, what about the minutes per game, Steph? Just shy of 30 minutes per game. Here's what he had to say about his minutes.
What game? What is this? 19, I think. This is maybe not a new record. The first 2 weeks was weird. We were a couple of blowouts and missed the fourth quarters. A couple games where some extended breaks that you understand it's a long season. Every player wants to play more minutes, including myself. I think I can. I know I can, but you try to figure out a way to take advantage of the minutes that you're out there. And, our rotations are a little different this year. We have so many guys. And when you're winning, it's fun. When you're not, questions pop up. That's how the league goes. We have to respond as a team. It's not just about how many minutes I'm playing. It's how to get everybody in unison on what we're trying to do out there, no matter what the combinations are. So if that means playing more minutes, then you do it.
So that's Steph on the minutes. And they're already trying to manage his minutes. And, this would be game number 20. We've got a long way to go. Nobody on this team right now is playing more than 29.9 minutes a game.
Right now, again, last, let's say, 2 weeks, I feel like Andrew Wiggins has played the best on the team.
Andrew Wiggins is playing some really good basketball.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that call.
Yeah.
No, but
broken clock's right twice a day, right? That's what they say.
I'm trying to throw you a bone on this one, dude.
It's just trying to be self-deprecating.
Yeah, it's not like authentic.
No, it is authentic. I'm a self-deprecating guy.
They look stagnant. They need a little mix. To me, there's a jolt that needs to happen, and I think it's long overdue.
No doubt. So maybe that's a trade. But here's what Steph Curry had to say about the rotations, because that's been a big thing. You're playing 12 deep, and we'll get to calls in just a second. Playing 12 deep, is that going to work? Well, here's what Steph said Saturday night about the rotation.
The only thing I say is it is hard for anybody to know or try to get a rhythm and know, what you're going to be asked to do. I think the first quarter, second quarter, we should play 13 guys. That's tough. We are a unique team. It's a unique situation. I don't think that's been done in the league probably ever, but it is an 82-game schedule, and you got to figure out what adjustments need to make. To your question, do we need to shorten it? We probably need to be a little bit more predictable on a night-to-night basis so guys can get a little bit of a rhythm. Let's shorten it 1 or 2 guys maybe. The first unit, we didn't start off well tonight, so that was a little bit on us. Try to claw our way back, into the first, and then we hit a little low. Whether that's rotations, whether that's lack of execution, whether that's guys just not being in rhythm, whatever it is, we got to adjust.
Got to adjust. So what is the adjustment?
I feel like it's Steph talking to management through the media, like, "Hey guys, 13 weeks. This isn't real NBA. Yeah. This is unsustainable. This isn't going to work much longer."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's strength of numbers. I get it, but you take away a Melton, It's a big piece to the puzzle. Now you're trying to figure out who starts at the 2. Is it Pajemski? Is it Kuminga? Is it Lindy Waters III? Is it Buddy Hield? You want to keep Buddy Hield on the bench. But, interesting thing with Buddy Hield, maybe this is it. I know it's not. It doesn't come down to this, but I'm just looking at Buddy Hield's splits. In wins, he plays 24 minutes a game. He shoots 50%, 48.5 from 3, and averages 19 a game. In the losses,
under 10.
9.6 points.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
34% from 3. 34.8, really 40%.
The second he cooled off, it felt like the whole team cooled off. They had something cooking with him and Kuminga off the bench. And the other element of this is like the Pajemski, you said, hey, maybe Pajemski starts at the 2. To me, Pajemski's a backup point guard.
Yeah.
That's how I view him.
Yeah,
I feel like the Warriors view him different, and that's fair.
So,
I view him as a backup point guard.
Honestly, I'm with you there, and I get why he starts because you've got another ball handler. Really, Steph's best at playing off the ball. So do you put the ball in Draymond's hand? But here's the deal. I think it's next man up. I personally would like to see Moses Moody get a shot just to see what you have. Maybe they already know what they have in Moses Moody. They see him every day in practice. We don't. They see him every day in warm-ups. We don't. Maybe they know a lot more about Moses Moody than we do, and I'm going to trust them on that. However, I would like to see him get more than 3 minutes in a game against Phoenix. And Pat Spencer's a hell of a story. Great lacrosse player. But he's already catapulting Moses Moody in a minute pecking order. Something's weird about that when you give him a 3-year, $39 million contract. Maybe you give him the contract because it's a team-friendly deal. I don't know. But I would like to – it's just fascinating to me that it's year 4, and I don't know whether or not Moses Moody's good or not. I just don't know.
I guess my question
Am I alone there?
No, but if this would be my question to them, like, okay, if they're telling you, like, through their actions that they don't think Moses Moody's that good, then why do you keep coming to the podium and saying we have a 13-man rotation? Just say we have an 11-man rotation.
No doubt.
I don't get it.